Just like to introduce one of our old student, Ashutosh is waiting, and this year he got 208 rank in the exam, right? So he will be, just he came to meet me, so I asked to interact with you people. If you will listen to his story, it's very inspirational. Why it is inspirational? I will just like to just highlight a aspect of his story. See, first time when he wrote the civil service exam, he failed to qualify prelims. He qualified prelims, right? Wrote mains, but he was not able to get a call for interview. In the second attempt also, the story continued. He qualified prelims, he wrote mains, but not a call for interview. Then in the third attempt, right, he got a call for interview, but he missed the final selection in the first list by 2 marks, but his name was there in the reserved list, and later on he was allotted, Central Service, Group A Civil Service in the form of Assistant Security Commissioner in Railway Protection Force. This year again he wrote the exam, right, and got 208 rank. Now not only that he got 208 rank, but he scored very well in GS and essay. And if you compare his GS score and essay score with the top 10 rankers, then it is almost at par or better than them. Because you just see, he got less marks in sociology. He was able to score only 208 in sociology, right? Whereas if you see the topper, right? Topper got 299 in political science. So more than 90 marks in the optional itself. Had this 90 marks been there in his optional, he would also have been in top, 10 rank. I feel so, right? So his story is the story about perseverance, right? And he was working in GAIL, Gas Authority of India, and while he was working as an engineer there, working day, night and out, but he continued with the preparation. And today just, before I was coming for the class, he was with me. And I asked him, what's the plan? Then he said, sir, एक attempt और लिखना है, right? Top 100 में आना है, IAS बनना है, IPS का training करने जाऊंगा, but I will write one more attempt. So I said that, if you have time, interact with the student, inspire them also, and discuss the strategy with which you were able to score so well in GS and essay paper. So Ashutosh is there with us, 208 rank. He will have a short discussion with you, after which you can proceed on break. And when you will come back after the break, I will continue with the discussion on the transport sector in India. So now Ashutosh will, take over.
Am I audible to the back? Is it audible clearly on the back, no? This was exactly my class. And those middle seats on 3-4 seats from back, that was my fixed seat. And the most revealing thing is everything happening on the back bench is visible from here. My actions there were having the presumption that nothing is visible to the teacher. Now I'm a bit, perplexed. Okay, sir must have been seeing what I'm doing. So, this is a strategist batch or pre-com main? Huh? PCM? Okay. So, what time is the break time so that I don't eat into your break time? Huh? I'll take very small time. Don't worry. So, the most important thing is, see, throughout my journey, which I have learned is, you might fail, you might succeed, but if, I'll stand here, no problem, भैया, अरे मैं बैठ जाता हूँ, कोई दिक्कत नहीं. The most important thing is you should not let go. Okay. Till the time you are fighting, you are in the game. And please be in the game. It's rewarding. It's rewarding to be in the game. Still, IPS is good, but the game is enjoying. I'm still going for it. You should also come for it. The most important thing which I have learned is that a proper strategy, and not saying thing that, okay, this is just a cliche which people say. Those cliches, for example, write answers daily. This is, I think, one of the most troubling cliches you must be hearing on a daily basis from teachers, from everyone. These cliches like that make you successful. So, first and foremost thing about this preparation is work hard, choose your material judiciously. In this age, today's time, there is so much of material in the market. You will be flooded, your preparation will come to an end, your life will come to an end, the material will not come to an end. So, make a priority list that, see, you can prepare only this much, material is this much. For example, what should be the first priority? Your handwritten class notes. Nothing is better than that. Second priority, printed material obtained from the coaching. Third priority, your NCRTs. You must have read NCRTs by now. Test is also there. So they actually force you to read the NCRTs, and that is good. Otherwise, we normally neglect NCRTs. The third is NCRTs. Then the fourth thing is all other books which you hear, Lakshmikant, Pyarelal, Bipin Chandra and all. So this is the priority. And now after that comes those website materials and all those things. See, go to, I think then maybe I'll tell whatever you are going to ask. And after that we'll have, बहुत ज़्यादा जल्दी क्या? So make that priority and go with that. And one important thing, see, I have been associated with ALS for a very long time. Not something to be proud of. But through that association, I can tell you one thing for sure. That, see, you may have doubt about your optionals, whether it is the right optional or not. I'm having the doubt, but of course I cannot divorce my optional now in such an old age. So you can have doubt about optionals. You can have, many people would have left their jobs and come for preparing. You can have doubt about that, whether it was a prudent decision to quit the job or not. You can have doubt, some people from South India, they might have doubt whether it was a good decision to come to Delhi or yes, they should have gone to Hyderabad or somewhere. You are free for your doubts, but please don't have a doubt on the institute. I'm telling you, first of all, I'm a student and I'm telling you because I've learned so much from here. Don't have doubt on the place where you are. This is the best place. The people here are actually the best. No doubt about that. See, I'm not here for any marketing or anything. Anyways, I'm a student. They have full right to publish my name. Like people do, no? They go for money. I'm not for that. I'm here just because I have benefited and I have gone through a very really torturing journey. People say it is enjoyable, but let me tell you, the first thing which comes to your mind when the result comes is, I won't have to give the exam again. I cannot have that feeling. That's why I'm not very much happy. People are saying, oh, you have got 208, you should be very happy. You'll become an IPS officer, your personality, blah, 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 everything. But I'm still not, I'm happy. I'm very happy and grateful. But still, that satisfaction is not there because you have to give the exam another time. This place, these seats, people are getting selected from these seats by following the advices which are given from this seat. Don't take it as just some random things. Answer writing, there is no, I'm saying answer writing because in my last 2 attempts I didn't write very much answers. The answers I wrote were the answers which I was forced to write here. Those are the way, and till my 3rd attempt, I had written 2 essays in my life, one in the first attempt, one in the second attempt. So, all these things were the reason why I had to, see, Manish sir is just the type of person who can make your life turn. And also Jojo sir. I was talking about Manish sir because he presented in such a way that his journey is a story of perseverance and all. But this journey should not have been so long. Because of my own mistakes, it took so long. One thing I was sure, I did my geography optional from here, but I could not handle geography well, so I left. The only reason I could not handle was I was not a map compatible person. So then GS strategist course, that whole long length course I did from here. In every attempt, I did my mains current affairs from here. And I'm telling you, that is the course from where the answers literally, questions come. In one of that, 2012, I think there was a question on endosulfan. That I have not heard of the name of the endosulfan before in my life earlier. But Manish sir has taught that topic literally with the same question, endosulfan. And it came, Jojo sir has taught. And in another attempt, there was a question, comparison of that AIIB and New Development Bank. Exact topic Manish sir has taught with the same topic. And so if 2 or 3 such questions come which you are already prepared, you feel like you're the luckiest person alive. I'm telling you, see, most of the questions you'll be facing for the first time. That is not going to change with any amount of preparation or any amount of material you read. But if few questions, 5-10 questions are coming directly from a preparation, they save time, they give you instant marks, and you are through. Jojo sir always used to say this, and I have experienced this, that I'm not claiming that you'll be able to answer all the questions from the course. But if anybody in the class is able to answer, you'll be able to answer. So, one thing is make the priority list. Second thing is write answers, write essays also. About essay also, what is it? Shashank sir's strategy. He has, brainstorm and the whole process of writing essays, 10 minutes for this, 5 minutes for this. He has shared, the essay class has happened or not? Okay. Then it's good if it now has happened. He shares a very good strategy for writing essays, like 10 minutes brainstorming on bullet points, 10 minutes on headings. That strategy works. Because in essay, you find yourself in a fix. You are numb. You are completely numb. Ideas don't come to your mind in the classroom. Now that strategy, it bombards you with ideas. You just have to properly frame those ideas and go ahead with it. And it's very good that nowadays booklet form of material is available. In our time, it was stapled small booklets or some pages. It's very good for you guys. Keep those booklets, revise from those booklets. And this Wizard Quality, super awesome book. Wizard Quality is the best book. I know Lakshmikant is more famous. I'm citing a name here, but still, I know Lakshmikant is more famous. But Wizard Quality, small boxes, some information is there in small boxes about Supreme Court cases or some definitions. That is the thing which is going to fetch you marks in paper 2 in the mains examination. Read those boxes also. ऐसा तो नहीं करना boxes you skip. No, boxes are very important. So, good. So, that thing. And other than that, be focused. See, I was not very happy with my decision of continuing with the job and preparing. So I'm saying this because some guys asked outside in one batch I was interacting earlier. They asked about this. So if your personal conditions permit, this is a full-time job. And ultimately I had to do it full-time. I took leave and then came. So then this happened. And I think, not taking much time, we should go for questions. Questions will be better now. So, how many of you have appeared in mains earlier? How many of you gave an attempt earlier? Few people. Written mains? You have written mains. So, appeared for interview? No. So, let's say, sir talked about few things about the journey. Say, the thing about me was that I learned from my mistakes. I think that's what made the difference. In the first attempt, I had very low marks. Even I was 100 marks away from the cutoff line. So I analyzed and I learned from those mistakes. In the second attempt, I was 2 marks away from the cutoff for interview call. In the third mark, I was 2 marks away from the final selection, and I got it resolved. This year, it is good. So learn from your mistakes. And if you want to crack it in one go, learn from the mistakes you make in test series, in the tests. And to learn from your mistakes, you have to appear for tests. So don't skip any tests. That is very important. Take your test like you are appearing, like you are sitting in the UPSC examination hall. One thing which I did about time management, I think it's very important to complete the paper. So, is it an important call? You should take it. Is it? No? Okay. So, about time management, I used this strategy of time management to the extent that I took a stopwatch in the UPSC examination hall. It was allowed, normal stopwatch, not with any electronic function, and it was allowed. So and I used that stopwatch in the test series also. In that test series, I used that mobile stopwatch. I had not purchased that one. So if the time is 7.5 minutes is for the answering of the 25 questions are there, it is 7.5 minutes for one question in GS papers. If it is 7.5 minutes, I used to make sure that it completes in 7.5 minutes. Come what may, if 6 minutes are over, I used to start writing the conclusion. Now that is a good strategy. You may not be able to follow in all the questions. In some questions, if you are knowing, you can extend the time limit up to say 8 or 8.5 minutes. But again, some questions you'll have to leave also, or some questions you don't know much. Don't go for it that if you are not knowing much, you just fill the pages. It is not going to pay. If you are knowing worth 1 marks and you write half a page, and that half page is say worth half a marks only. And even if you write complete 2 pages, you'll get half marks only. So don't waste time there. You can use that time in some questions which you are knowing very well. So that is the thing about time management. Practice, and you can take the stopwatch if you think it is needed, or if you are able to, handle by your own, it's very good. So that was one thing about time management. Yes, I think questions now. Yes, ethics. Ethics is important. Ethics, I got some good marks this year, so I can tell about ethics. I'm now a certified ethical person. See, ethics paper is divided in 2 parts. One is theory portion, other is case study. Case study, what Pathi sir teaches, don't go for anything else. That is the super duper awesome method of writing case studies, which he tells. And those principles which he tells, integrity, not doing harm, autonomy. Those principles, if you are citing, and underline it. Yes, underline. In GS questions, make a habit of underlining important things. Don't underline more than 20% though, so that the non-underlined part gets highlighted. So, ethics paper, case study, Pathi sir, go with that strategy. I followed that strategy and I got marks, so I think that strategy is working. Then, second part is that theory portion. In theory portion, the one more thing, study material is okay, it's good. He gives slides and the website he's uploading on his blog. He used to write a blog and you guys are getting the booklet now, it is all there, so no problem. One thing about the theory portion is there are so many words which are almost similar. Integrity, honesty, devotion to duty, everything looks similar. So make this thing 20-25 such, 20 or 25, not many I'm asking for, 20-25 such words, remember the definition. Remember the definition exactly. Because in the theory portion, there will not be a question of what is integrity, but there might be a question, what do you understand by integrity, and cite an example from your own life where you have experienced that or where you have applied that. That will be the full question. Now if you know the textbook definition of integrity, you will be able to handle one part of the question in just say 70 to 80, 90 seconds. That's it. You can handle now giving examples and all that, you can go on. Now if you don't remember the definition, say, you will try to frame the definition then and there. Of course, you will do that. Now, that definition will be a deficient definition. You understand deficient definition, no? Not complete, not covering the whole circle. Along with that, it will take a lot of time also. So, 20-25 you can remember. And using those 20-25, you can generate your own ideas also during the question, during the examination. That was about theory portion. And yes, and very important thing, have a very clear mind about your case studies. Very clarity of mind is most important. You should know what you are writing and why you are writing. I can cite an example. Last year there was a question on You are the district magistrate or SP of a district, and there is a natural calamity in your district. Now it gave some people and it asked for the sequence in which you will evacuate them. The first was women, children and elderly. The second was hospitalized persons. The third was jail, people who are in jail. The fourth was some hikers. The fifth was a cabinet secretary of the neighboring, chief secretary of the neighboring state is visiting. And the sixth was your head of the political part, some political party of your own state. Now, what will be the sequence? Who should we evacuate first? Huh? Or sick, person from the jail, elderly, person from the jail, elderly, and any more answers? Women, children, that's women, children, elderly group. Chief Secretary. No, it was Chief Secretary, I cited by wrong. Chief Secretary, not the politician. Let them die. Anyways, they are not doing anything. Now here comes your clarity of mind. Everybody must have heard those maxims, pro-poor, pro-woman, pro-democracy, everything. Now that is again some cliche which people tend to avoid. That is very important. That's where your ethical values are ingrained into. First of all, I think the evacuation should be of, you can choose anyone among them, the sick or the women, elderly and children. Because then sick people are disabled, they are in a captive stage. One or two you can choose from with substantiation, you have to substantiate for both of them. The third will be jailed persons. The person in jail are the responsibility of the administration. Anyway, 60 to 65% people which are in jail, they haven't committed any crime. Eventually, they are under trials and they will be let go. And the remaining 35% also, they might have been convicted, but they haven't been convicted to death by drowning. So, the third is the jailed person. The fourth can be your politician. Because he represents the will of the people. Not because the politician is a person, but because he represents the people, and people are the ultimate sovereign. Then the cabinet secretary, then of course the hikers, they are anyways coming for adventure. Let them have. That was a joke. That is not the reason why they should. That is not the reason why they should be let go. Because they are hikers, it is assumed that they will be having a good physical fitness. They might have some training or some experience of handling those situations. So it is not important. You have to write the same sequence. Important thing is you should have a clarity of mind. You should not get baffled there and spend 5 minutes in searching of the sequence only. By reading, you should be aware, okay, that will be the sequence, and the time should mainly be consumed in writing and substantiating what should be the reason. You have to write also. 7.5 minutes or case study, you have say 9 minutes. 2.5, maximum 2 minutes, you should have एकदम clarity. This is the sequence. Now I have to just write in 7 minutes with proper substantiating and good words, all those. So that is very important. That will come when you have very much clarity of your vision as a civil servant, your ethical groundings as a civil servant. Those are very important. By reading, by thinking, in ethics paper you also have to, means not during the examination, but even beforehand, you have to think a lot. When you read, when you go from a class, whatever is being taught, you have to internalize it, you have to generate your own ideas, your own arguments, pro as well as against. Because in many case studies, they say for substantiation, both sides, argument in this side also and this side also. You should be aware of the holistic view. That will be doing the trick for ethics. Cool, no? You asked about ethics. Thinker is quoting, I remember I quoted few thinkers, but not too many. It's not necessary that you quote thinkers in every question. Spend some time with thinkers, because anyways thinker quotations can come directly. And if you are knowing the thinker, you know about him or her, and you can write well. But don't give so much importance to writing thinkers that you lost the track and you go on writing only about thinkers. Important thing is substantiating, and if any thinker comes to your mind which is helpful in substantiating your view, please go ahead with it. very important thing about interview. Anything about mains? Let's answer you. Go. Anybody can ask about mains again. No problem. No chronological order is required. We can discuss about mains. There is no need to go in chronological order that PT, then mains, then interview. Whatever questions come to your mind, I'll be answering it. See, the foremost thing about interviews, which I have learned, is answering number of questions is not an important thing. I could not answer many questions, but the way you answer or the way your calm and composure during saying sorry sir, that is more important. Even during you guys might not have experienced it, but even when you'll be preparing for interviews, you'll be taking mocks of your own friends. Then when you are taking the interview, at the end of the interview, after say 30-35 minutes, you will not be able to even remember how many questions he was able to answer and how many questions you were saying sorry. You will be remembering only that how was he. See, very basic thing. DM or SP, he is the most visible part of governance in a district. Agreed. Now, they are actually the brand ambassadors of governance. And when you are choosing your brand ambassadors, the government is looking for pleasant personality, soothing personality, a person who can handle the brand, who can boost the brand. Your knowledge has already been tested in the mains. I was very much worried when I gave the first interview because I could not answer some questions. But your knowledge has already been tested. No problem there. Say pleasant smile. Sorry sir. No issues. It will not matter at all. But say you don't know first two questions, or in between you don't know two questions, and your stress starts showing. See, that is the least amount of stress you can get in the interview call compared to the stress which you are going to face in the field. That means that those problems which you are facing in the interview situation, answering few questions or not, they are going to decide your career. But in a district, that is going to decide not only your life, but the life of many people in the district, suppose in a riot situation or any critical situation. Now, if you cannot handle the stress in the boardroom, how can they expect you to handle the stress in that very stressful situation? So, important thing is, you are not able to answer, no issues. I am telling you, in my last interview, this year, it was Alka Surohi ma'am's board, and I've been in a sort very unlucky in the interview. My both interviews, I was in the forenoon session, and I was the last person to be called in the forenoon session. Last time it was a Monday, so on Monday they have some meeting also before the interviews to discuss some strategy of how to handle, or they also discuss strategy, I think. Whatever the cause. Interview started at 11 o'clock, and when I entered the room, it was already 1:35, 1:40. And they have to start the afternoon interviews at 2 or 2:30 like. So they were literally hungry, literally tired. And I entered and things went on and okay. Then I could answer a few questions. There was a question that was a big mistake I committed. There was a question on Syria. It was Vice Admiral retired Dr. D.K. Diwan sir. Now, I was very scared. Okay, Diwan, he is very infamous for giving less marks in interview. But I said, okay, no problems. I went inside and he asked about Syria. How the problem started in Syria? I told him, sir, pro-democracy, rights and civil war. No. How the problem started in Syria? I said, sir, pro-democracy, rights. He said, okay, it went on. No.
If you are trapped in somewhere, like you give the wrong answer, if you are trapped in that, then how to make out of it? If you say that.
Yeah, Allah answer complete. You all कर लेते फिर उस क्वेश्चन पे आते ना. So now he was, after I realized this, after I came out of the boardroom, that he was trying to know about that incident when some students wrote some graffiti on the school wall and the police handled them very high-handedly. Now I was so much irritated by this because Jojo sir has told this at least thrice in the class. The same incident he told. I could not tell it there. But ultimately it didn't matter. I got 176 and it was good marks by Diwan sir's standards. So we learned two things from here. You cannot be judgmental about the interviewers. Don't read about them very much. If you want to read about the background, just read the UPSC profile which is there on the UPSC website. Don't go to all those websites, whatever forum and all, because you frame a perception beforehand that he gives good marks or she gives bad marks to engineers and all that. So, and even if you're not able to answer, you might get good marks. So that is a very important thing about interview. And that thing, if you concluded something wrong, and suppose you committed a whole full-blown blunder, something which goes against the ethos of democracy, like you said that, okay, sir, these people, say someone who's award returning or those, even if you say, sir, I think they are just creating nuisance, we should go and kill them. Suppose a blunder to that extent. Then 35 seconds later, you came to your senses and you said, okay, what I said, no issues. And of course they will counter that. Don't go on defending your such a stupid argument. Just like, okay, sir, I think I got distracted and that was wrong. I'm sorry. I think we should handle them differently. Accept it. They need honest people. Pleasant personality, honest people. That is enough. Accept your mistakes and don't get perplexed. I'm telling you, I've just heard it from someone, I think, I cannot recall, but one girl, and she came for the interview, Chhatar Singh sir's board, and something went haywire. She started crying. I don't know, some personal issues or what. She started crying. And they said, okay, have a glass of water. And then they said, okay, let's start again. Go to the door, come again. And she, while going to the door, she was thinking, ab to gaya gadde mein. But then she came back and she didn't let that pull her down. And interview started and went on like normal interview. She got very good marks. Extremely good marks. I think 190 plus or something. Now, what we learned from this is that you can turn around the interview from any point of time. So don't get irritated by yourself because that irritation will show. And if you are able to camouflage your expressions, it's good. But normally you're not able to. So don't get irritated. You can turn it around at any time.
How do you manage current affairs? You make some notes out of it, or you manage
Yeah, I read newspapers very regularly.
Utilize the newspaper in the best possible way.
Good. Both questions are complementary. Yeah, thank you. See, I read newspaper daily. Let's say almost daily. Means 99%. In a month, I skipped maybe 1 or 2 days. Now, the most important thing about newspaper is read the newspaper. It is a very good idea. And a better idea is to implement a good idea. So, a good idea is to read the newspaper and the best idea is to make notes of the newspaper. If you are not making notes out of newspaper, that 1.5 hour you are devoting to read that newspaper, that is going in complete drain. After say 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, down the line when you...
I'm sharing my personal experience. I'm making notes, but after 1 or 2 months, I don't even bother to just read whatever I have made.
See, then you are wasting your time of reading the newspaper and as well as making the notes of the newspaper. See, he gave me a very good insight. I should add this also to talking to people that please read newspaper, please make notes of the newspaper and please read notes also. So, do make, even if you are, if you are starting newspaper today, see, in the first time of your life, you are starting newspaper today. You will find everything important. But gradually, 15 days, 1 month, you will see that only 5 to 6 articles are there which you have to make notes of. And even if you are not able to make notes of all articles, whatever don't go by this, I'll first read the complete newspaper, then I'll make notes of the complete newspaper. No, that is a very wrong strategy. You will end up making no notes or at max 1 or 2 articles. Read the article and if you want, keep underlining while reading only and article finished, make the notes. I'll share my strategy in that. I had 4 or 5 files. 1 for national issues, 1 for international, 1 for economy, 1 for science tech, 1 for environment. Those were the files. And I had 1 master file where I used to make notes. Suppose some article I could find only half a page worth. So I'll keep that in the master file. Related article, I used to fill the remaining portion and I'll file that in that respective file. Now at the time of I planned to read it every Sunday, but it went mostly on a monthly basis to revise those files. So, very important thing, make notes and don't make notes in chronological order. That is not going to benefit. Make notes according to the substance. say economy is there, that goes in the economy. And even economy, something like monetary policy, that goes at somewhere else in the file. So in this way, you can handle newspapers. Along with that, one magazine is good if you have spare time. With me, there was a problem because I was mostly preparing while with working. So some news, Wizard, you must be getting free. Don't consider it free, so no worth. That is free, but that is very much worthful. What the magazine does is, it summates everything, and if you have skipped 1 or 2 days of newspaper, that will come in the magazine. Getting my point? So that way current affairs can be handled. And in any ways, that before PT and before that compendium of current affairs by Wizard comes. I'm not asking, I'm telling. Don't have such faces. That a compendium of Wizard comes, that is a savior. That is a savior for even those people who have not read newspaper. But don't wait for the saviors, please read the newspaper. If you have read the newspaper, it will be just like a revision. And you can revise and everything will be there with some background also. That book is very important. The only issue which I faced with that book was that it is a very, thick book. I could not have the courage to read that. So what I used to do was, I tore it apart. National issues, international, economy, environment. That way, anyways, we have to read the whole material, but it becomes manageable. You are not fearful of the thickness of the book. Okay, 4 days I have to study this much only, then next 4 days. Tear it apart. Some people love those dear books. If you cannot, go with that, no issues. But please read that book also along with the newspaper.
How to manage economic survey in
Indian Air Force? Achha. Economic survey you have to read from cover to cover. Yeah, it's not, I have read this year's economic survey in say 15-20 days I have completed along with my job. So it's not a big deal. Yeah, 198 pages and 160 some pages are there. The economic survey, whole economic survey takes about 34 hours I have calculated. Now those 34 hours, how you are spreading it? If you are studying 1 hour daily, it will go for a month. But strategic economic survey is study for 3-4 hours at least economic survey. Don't make it a very long affair. If you are studying 6 hours daily, 6 days you will be able to complete the economic survey. Economic survey is very good. It gives you lot of insight and lot of good lines, lot of good words to write the mains. This is what the people in the powers of corridor are thinking. This is how they are going to handle the problem. It covers a lot of current affairs, along with that, a lot of main stuff also. The data part or the trend which is given, it will cover the PT part, but for mains also economic survey is very important. If possible, go through it. Like I told, there is a hierarchy of things. You can handle according to your time, but economic survey is highly advisable. This year I have read it. Last year I could not complete it properly. I read, but I could not complete properly. This year I have already read it 2 times, and I plan to read it at least 1 or 2 times more. I underline in the economic survey. Making notes will be very much. See, you guys are preparing full time. You can afford to make notes. If you are able to, please go. Along with job, it was difficult to make notes. So I used to underline the important portions. Because if you are not underlining, then you will not be able to revise it properly. Underline portion you can again revise, and some short notes I used to make on the sides of the portion of the page on which nothing is written. So that can also work. If you can prepare notes, that is the most advisable thing. If you cannot, that's okay. But read economics. Economic survey is very good. It is enjoyable. This year's volume 1 is very enjoyable. Volume 2 becomes a little bit tedious. But again, if you go through it, it will be good. And about India yearbook, I think, I'm not sure about it, but I think India yearbook is actually a reference book. It is known as a reference book. So you should take it as a reference book only. For example, a very small example. Suppose you are reading about say agriculture. Now, if you have read about agriculture from your economics notes or economics any book, you should at the same time refer to India yearbook, the chapter on agriculture, and read the schemes on agriculture which are going on. Now, about India, when you read that schemes which are going on or the trend of production which is there, that is given in the India yearbook, not to learn the production, that is not important, but the trend. Now, you should write that at the same time in your notebook or whatever book you are reading on the sidelines. If you are reading a notebook, write on the sidelines, these are the schemes, these are the trends. So that for the same thing, you should not refer India yearbook twice. You're getting? India yearbook revision will be possible only when you have someplace else written the India yearbook. Are you able to understand what I'm saying about India yearbook? Write it there. So whenever you are again revising your economics notes, you'll see the schemes and they are from India yearbook, that will be complete. This way we should go with, because if you complete India yearbook from cover to cover, that will become a complete full-time job for a few months. This way we can go for India yearbook. Yeah.
Any particular suggestion for GS2? Because a lot of it is a trend now that most people are scoring very low in the GS2.
GS paper, the basic thing is you should be able to understand the question. What is happening in GS2 paper is people are seeing the question and they are writing everything they know about that topic. GS2 questions are very particular. They are asking about something very particular and they are needing something very specific. Suppose they ask about, say, this federal structure or federalism. If you see the word federalism, you start writing about federalism. This is not going to fetch marks. You have to understand what is the specific thing they are asking from federalism. Suppose center's role in it or the whatever they are asking. Read. So GS paper 2, the mantra is read the question properly, understand the question properly, then only attempt the question. Language skills in the sense, I don't. Answer writing, see, there is no need to work very much on vocab, you need good words or like that. You should be able to express yourself very well. I don't think you have any such problem like language issues. People even who have language issues, they should work on it, write a few questions and translate from their native language to that. And apart from that, language skills, your language should be fluid. It should be a lucid language. Anyway, see, whatever you are writing, some university professor is going to evaluate it. And he should find it pleasant to read. It should not be completely filled with jargons. It should not be completely layman's language. It should be a proper balance, and clarity of mind is more important. And sequencing proper. Suppose you are discussing about any issue, you talk about issues, then you go on to talk about that problems, then solutions. It should not be like that you talk about issue, you said solutions, then problems. It should not be haphazard. That will come by practicing the answer writing. A flow of ideas should come. Every answer is a interaction with the examiner. Every answer is a very short essay. It should give a whole picture on the issue that is being discussed. If you keep that in mind, and I don't think language will be any problem. If you have any issue with the vocab, suppose you are not able to write even the simple words, have any problem with the issues, with the vocab, devote half an hour daily for vocab during newspaper time also. See, most people have a habit of when they are reading newspaper, they don't understand, if they don't understand any word, what they do is, they try to decipher the meaning of the word from the sentence. Okay, this is being used here, that might be the meaning. Please don't do that. Please just use that word web or lot of any dictionary, offline dictionary in your mobile, and very easily you can search for it. So if you do this one thing, and see, I am a person from Hindi medium background, Hindi medium intermediate. So if you keep this one thing, that I will not take words for granted, you can be able to improve your vocab to any extent. That will take care of the language thing along with vocab. And answer writing, of course.
So you wrote main in Hindi medium or
English medium.
Sociology as an option, how you find it?
Pleasantly surprising. Yeah, that was the answer. Pleasantly surprising. Sociology is a very pleasant optional. I just love sociology, but it came as a surprise in the mark sheet. See, jokes apart, about sociology, about paper 1, I think one thing is important, you should be able to quote some thinkers. not filled with thinkers, but see, your ideas are there. If they get substantiated by the ideas of some thinkers, they get branded, okay, they are proved, they are okay. All these things which I am telling, I had these ideas in mind beforehand also, but now they have got stamped. So, first thing about paper 1, go with some thinkers you should remember. Other than that, in sociology also, read the question properly and read the last word, that discuss, elucidate, or whatever is coming there, so that you give precise to the point answers. Not if they are asking for critical analysis. Okay, if they are asking for critical analysis, you should not go with, you heard the word say alienation, and you go ahead with everyone writing about alienations. Read what they are asking about alienation. That is about paper 1. And Harold Lemboss must have been suggested. Harold Lemboss is a very good book, not the whole book. See, there are some relevant portions of Harold Lemboss that you have to read, because the whole book is a very lengthy and a very bulky book, and you should not tour off Harold Lemboss. So, see what portions are relevant, go with that. That should cover paper 1. And paper 2 is very applied portion. This year it has gone to such an extent of application that paper 2, sociology paper 2 has the questions of GS paper 1, GS paper 2, GS paper 3, and also GS paper 4. Yes, it has questions. There was a question, evaluate the trustworthiness of Gandhiji among untouchables. Now, trustworthiness is a question, portion from paper 1, paper 4 of GS. So, be prepared for anything. And you should be prepared, some case studies you must be, like, studies of the researchers. Not all, but have a good sense like poverty, unemployment, women empowerment. There are so many, family, there are so many case studies, so that can take care of, that will take care of paper 2. And specific about sociology, I think after that sociology will take so much time that most of the people will not get benefit.
Not being very artistic is writing skills.
No.
Or you can manage it.
Normal words, proper substantiation, clarity of your thought, writing properly in a lucid manner, that will do the job. Paper 2, you can quote some thinkers, preferably Indian thinkers, Indian researchers. That will take care of that sociology, I think.
You wrote 4 3 times mains. You attempt all the questions, like in 2013 there were 25 questions.
I didn't appear in 2013 actually. Yes. In 2014, including my GS and optional, I didn't leave any question. 2014, I attended all the questions. 2015, there were some questions which I was completely unaware of. Like they had asked about some amendment in the Arbitration Act. I knew nothing about that, so I left it completely blank. Now, these type of questions where they are asking specific things, you cannot go on writing anything just for the sake that you have the pleasure of thinking that I have attempted all questions. That will fetch you 0 marks, guaranteed. So, apart from these type of, in 15 also, only 4 or 5 questions in the complete paper, means optionals plus GS, and all the 6 papers, 4 or 5 questions have left. Only because, not because of time problem, because I was knowing nothing about it, so I didn't write anything. And how to manage that time, like I earlier told, I used a stopwatch. So there was no issue of time crunch. If 7.5 minutes is the time for any question, 7.5 minutes it will be completed. That means after, when I reach the last questions, I'll have 7.5 minutes left. No problem in that. And if in between I left 1 or 2 questions, that will give me time for extra 30-35 seconds for other questions. But yes, my motto was to complete the paper. Postscript, don't complete the paper for the sake of completing the paper. Write only those questions which you know. Opinion-based questions, you can always write. Yes, one very important thing which I should have said at the beginning only. I should have said it at the beginning only. See, this exam, the beauty of this exam is, suppose there is a circle, the center, and a big circle. Every person is standing at somewhere on the circle. There are many pathways to reach to the center. Every radius of a circle is a pathway to reach the center. One radius may represent one strategy, one radius may represent second strategy, one radius may represent third strategy. What I am sharing is the strategy which I have followed. And it is a correct strategy because of the list, but it is not the correct strategy. It is one of the many correct strategies. So, you have to figure out what strategy works for you. Suppose someone has a habit of making notes for every book he reads. That is his or her strategy. Someone has a strategy of just jotting down a few points or underlining. That is his or her strategy. So, any of the strategy you choose, follow it, you will reach the center. But, if you say there is one strategy, you follow it to some extent, then you said, okay, let's jump to the other strategy. Then you'll keep, then other, then other, then other. Then you'll keep moving on the circumference of the circle, you will not be able to reach the center. Get your strategy, that is my strategy I am sharing. Get your strategy, follow that, you will succeed. All the strategies, सारा धर्म एक ही जगह ले जाता है. Please, he is asking. Yeah, please. See, about essay, one thing is very important. You will get a booklet of essay. There are so many quotations in it. You read that book in your leisure time whenever you are not studying or you have tired. Read those quotations 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 times. You will remember the quotations. About essay, the most important thing is writing the essay. Before my third attempt, I had written 2 essays in my life. One in the first attempt, one in the second attempt. That strategy is not going to work. I cannot understand.
You left, I mean, while you were preparing, you left the essays that were same as this.
I read those essays.
No, I'm talking about whether you wrote the essays which were being arranged here.
Yeah, I wrote those essays also. Along with that, I wrote some other essays also. Before the third attempt, bhai, when I was scoring 1992 in the essay. That was the story. Oh, please don't get confused. The story of writing 2 essays was in the first 2 attempts when I got 90 and 92 marks in the essay. This year I wrote essays, I practiced essays, I was planning to write every week, but I wrote mostly monthly basis. And 10-20 essays I wrote, some in between, because some tests also I wrote in the essays test I also wrote. Then I got 136. That was the reason I wrote essays, that's why I got 136. It's not that some ideas came bombarded. So the most important thing about writing essays is practice essays and have a framework of essays which you are doing, that will take care.
Roughly 80 days in prelims exams.
Yes, good.
More days that would rather distract us, not countering your approach. But
Yeah.
I just want some insight on
Yeah, you can ask about PT anytime. Huh?
PT.
Yeah.
I just want some of your advices on PT, like how to approach it. Because there is so wide course and we have to complete it anyhow.
See, one very important thing about PT is, remember, and please take my word for it, I'll substantiate my word afterwards after I complete this question, after I answer this question. There is enough time left for PT. Please don't get disheartened, time is very less. There is enough time left. About PT, focus first on your class notes and printed material and NCRTs. Class notes, printed NCRTs are very good. Yes, thank you for saying this. Most people, even when I was there in the starting, I had a sense of disbelief for NCRTs, but NCRTs are very good. Direct questions are coming from NCRTs as such. Those 3 books of history, new NCRT. Direct questions are coming in prelims from those. NCRTs are very important. These 3 things, if you do your handwritten, printed and NCRT, that will do the trick for PT. And about current affairs, even if you haven't read any newspaper till today, don't worry, start reading from today. That current affairs, no issues about it. Start reading newspaper from today, 1 hour 45 minutes daily. Then that current affairs compendium from Wizard will come. That will take care of current affairs. Nothing can come out of current affairs which people are able to answer and you are not. It is very important. Jojo sir used to say this, that I cannot guarantee that you will be able to answer all the questions in the examination, But if anyone in the examination hall is able to answer, you will be able to answer. So that is the truth about that, this whole course you have joined, and along with that book also about current affairs. Don't worry about current affairs. So I think PT, clear na, current affairs? Okay. And one thing that I said that there is enough amount of time. My 2011 attempt, I was enjoying my job very much. I was in project, Gadi driver, everything, completely enjoyed. Just I had filled the form. It was on 12th June, I still remember the date, 12th June. And towards the end of the May, I started feeling that, okay, I haven't read anything. I haven't read anything at all. So I should not appear for PT this year. My boss literally forced me to take leave of 12 days and prepare for that PT. Then also I thought, okay, it's good, he is giving leave, I should take leave and just sleep and have some fun, go visit some friends. Then after the leave was sanctioned, I thought, yeah, let's go to, I came to Delhi, I was posted in Agra. I came to Delhi and I just purchased some books which I could get hand on, and some coaching material and all those things, whatever I could gather, and I went back. So 12 days left, 2 days invested in this collecting material. I studied PT for 10 days. Taking leave, full time, 10 days I studied for PT, and I cleared PT. So, you can clear PT. Very important disclaimer, I am not telling this story for you to wait for 10 days to start studying for PT. Just to give your confidence that there is enough amount of time left for clearing PT. And afterwards, when I thought I should start for mains, and that was, I read all those things in a very much hurry. When I took a critical view at those books, that coaching material, that was mains material actually which I had read. So, everyone will clear PT. Now, before this you are preparing honestly, you have read your NCRTs, you have attended classes, you will clear, no issues. Just go, keep on doing that. Don't get disheartened that ab to nikal gaya. No, abhi nahi nikla. And one more important thing which I was saying, I just missed about PT. Okay, PT kuch aur bata raha tha main important. So PT is important in this. These things will cover PT, not to worry about anything. And yes, before 2013, PT was very easy for people with CSAT strength. Now, who are engineers, they need not worry about CSAT. They can focus on that, on their GS part. But people who are not engineers or who have some problem in CSAT, any kind of problem in CSAT, please don't leave CSAT for the last 15-20 days. I've seen a lot of people doing this, that okay, let's cover the GS, last 15 days, I'll keep, last 15 days exclusively for CSAT. I'll solve questions the whole day. No, that will not work. First of all, last 15 days, you'll have a lot of things to do. You'll have to revise, you'll have to go through your current affairs again. And 15 days CSAT, very wrong strategy, bahut problem ho jayega. What you should do is, people having problem with CSAT, start practicing CSAT from today only. If you practice for 1 hour, still, how many days? 80 days. Still there are 80 hours for you to handle the CSAT. And 80 hours is more than enough. Get some, that CSAT book has been provided from here. Take it as a very, very good and very balanced question bank. Solve your questions from those regarding CSAT. 1 hour CSAT is sufficient for sailing you through PT for people who have problem in CSAT. Anyways, GS you are doing. That is the basic strategy for CSAT. Someone is asking how to study history. Is there any Lakshmikant of history? Lucknow is asking this. Okay. See, I believe that first of all about Lakshmikant of history, I personally agree that Lakshmikant is not Lakshmikant of polity. Quoting your own words, wizard polity is way better than Lakshmikant. So that was on a different note. Wizard polity is way better than Lakshmikant. So go for wizard polity also. And about history, wizard of what is wizard of history? History, the NCRTs are very good. And that wizard book, Modern History by Wizard, that had Modern History by Wizard, it is written by KKR sir only. Super book for prelims. it is bullet wise only. Go for that book for your prelims in history. And about mains, that book is good, and you can also read the class notes. And Plasi to partition is good. You can go with that also. That all will cover history portion. Quality answer writing is a challenge for remote student, as we don't have any model answers to compare with. What you can suggest to this problem? You can go for peer reviewing process. People who are not studying in Delhi, they can go for a process of peer reviewing, evaluate your own answers, sharing. And even if you are preparing alone, write the answers, and if you write answers in morning, read that answer in the evening. You'll yourself find many issues and many corrections. Other than that, there are many websites where people can upload answers. A lot of websites are there, so you could. Writing 200 words in a 9 minute is a challenge. To maintain time, can we cut short word limits? Of course you can cut short word limits. See, the instruction written on the question paper is the answer should not exceed 200 words. It is the maximum, it is not the minimum. So, my strategy was, I used to go for time limit, not word limit. Whatever time it is permitting, I used to write. And please, you remove this thing from your mind that you have to necessarily write 200 words. It is the max limit, not more than that, not less than that. Now, you can write 150 if you can express. 150 is sufficient number of words to express the answers. That is good. Is there anything like strict checking in some optionals and not so in others? I don't think there should be any such thing, though I am myself a victim of sociology. But this is just a lame excuse. See, I don't know whether it is there or not. Even if it is there, you cannot help it. You have to, when you don't know the weapons of the person standing next to you, you have to just fortify your own armor. Fortify your own armor. Come what may, we'll write good answers, we'll get marks. No issues in that. Don't think about on these lines. Go with your optional, prepare your optional well, you'll get good marks. Please share your strategy for sociology. I think we have shared it. Please share your prelims strategy. Thanks to gentlemen, we have shared the prelims strategy. Quality answer writing is a challenge for remote. Yes, we have dealt that. Please elaborate a bit on introduction portion. I cannot understand what is he talking about, the introduction in the question. Yeah, that is a very important thing. See, that is the first impression of you. See, suppose in your house, which is the room which is the best decorated and kept in the most proper form, it is the drawing room. Because anyone comes, that is the first impression. So introduction is the first impression. It will make the examiner interested in your answer. So it is very important, introduction. And yes, introduction you can see. Introduction can be done in two ways. Number one, it is just that you 2 steps before the answer. That is the purpose of introduction. And secondly, a teaser or a trailer of what is going to come in the question. That should be the basic 2 motives. Practice, if you are having some problem introduction, practice 10-20 introductions daily. It will take only 1.5 minutes. So that will take care of the introduction. And, any more questions? Yeah. भूख लग रही है यार सबको. Why am I the person who keeps people away from the lunch, be it interviewers or be it you guys?
Sir, you wrote the answer in mains in bullet points or in paragraphs?
Good question. See, paragraphs appear a little bit more scholarly. But suppose you are, it is the last 4 minutes of your question paper, and you have 3 questions left. And in those 4 minutes, you can write only 1 question in paragraph form. In such a situation, I suggest that you write in bullet forms in those 3 answers. Anyways, and you know those answers. Anyways, those 3 answers in bullet form will certainly fetch you more marks than 1 answer in paragraph form. So it should be like, suppose there is a question of discuss. You cannot write in bullet forms in discuss. Isn't it? And if you find it extreme, like enumerate or any such type of thing, you think you can handle better. That is, but again, paragraph appears a bit more mature and scholarly. Yeah. And then choose your own judgment. Have a judicious mix of how to paragraph. Like introduction and conclusion, you can write. Other than use a judicious mix. Even now, if you are 2 minutes left, 2 questions remaining, let go the introduction conclusion, complete. And if you are knowing those questions, if you are not knowing, no issues. If you are knowing those questions, just jot down the points or something like that. So that is the strategy of about paragraph. Have a judicious mix of things that will be handling. I think we're done. Or one last question we can take if it is very important. Otherwise, go have your break. See, like I had my notes and I used, you by the time the 4 or 5 days before exam, you come to know what are the lacking portions. Go to that. Don't go for complete revision. Go to focused revision in the last 4 or 5 days. Because these are the topics which I have to read. I read that. And before mains, you will be having 3-4 booklets of this current affairs crash course which happens. Please do attend those current affairs crash course. That is the place from where most of the questions come. So you will have last 4 or 5 days, revise those 2-3 booklets, books, notebooks which you prepare during current affairs crash course. That should be the best thing to revise. Okay? Thank you. Best of luck. And you fare well.